that makes PKs go but wow, like but wow. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith and this is the Faith Walks channel where the pathways of faith are limitless. So today I'm doing a faith talk. I'm going to be talking about what it's like to be a PK while I do my makeup and test out some new products for you guys. So if you want to see what it's like to be a PK, and make sure you keep on watching. You know you want to. Hi guys. So, as I said in my intro, today I'm going to be doing a faith talk. And a faith talk is basically where I tell fun stories about myself and review like new makeup or put some makeup on. So it's kind of like get ready with me style and stuff like that. So it'll be fun. Today I'm going to be using Brazen Beauty, some products from them. They're a Black-owned company. Also, BTaylor Beauty Company. I'll be using products from them. And I'll be using the new Makeup Revolution Reboot Foundation. So yeah, I'm going to try, to stay focused with my stories and use this new makeup and let y'all know what I'm using. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm producing and doing and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of when I am uploading. I have a lot of new content coming your way, so make sure that you subscribe for me. Okay, so today I'm gonna try to move it along and not make this stupid long, even though it is what it is. I'm gonna be using the Cocoa Spice palette by Brazen Beauty. Again, they're a Black-owned company and I'm super excited about using them. I primed my eyes already. I used the NYX Proof It eye primer and the e.l.f. Putty eye primer in like a shade that's like close to my skin tone. Because if you can see, this is the palette. It's oranges and browns, and I just want to do like a brown smoky eye situation and blend it out with, the orange, so it could be very warm. It's gonna be very warm. So we're going into nutmeg first. Okay, so today, ooh, this is cute. So today, what I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna talk about being a PK, growing up as a PK. And what is a PK? For those of you who don't know, PK is a preacher's kid. It's a child who grew up and their parents were in ministry, meaning in church they were the children of the pastor, the preacher, minister, evangelist, missionary, deacon, whatever titles they've had. So I was a PK. This is really pretty. I'm sure if I put a lighter base on, this would be cute too. But anyways, so basically, my parents were in ministry. My dad was a pastor, and he eventually got ordained to be a bishop. My mom was an evangelist. She still is. And she is also a elder in the Lord's church. Amen and glory. So basically, my dad started pastoring when I was like 7 years old. And even when I was younger, he was an interim pastor at another church. But he started pastoring his own church when I was like 7 and 8 years old. And it's, when I tell you being a pastor's or a preacher's kid is a whole different lifestyle, like that Jane is a whole different lifestyle. It's crazy. Not in a bad way, in a good way. I grew up, you grow up being around a lot of people a lot of people in church, a lot of, you have members and everything, and their personal life becomes a part of your personal life, because they look to your, parents for leadership and guidance. And it's almost like, they're leaders. They're pretty much leaders, and they are, responsible for teaching them and helping them to grow spiritually, to learn about the Bible and stuff like that. And, they end up, as a result, getting involved, in their personal lives. If they ever have issues, need counsel and things like that, your parents are there. And so it's a very committed lifestyle, and it requires them to really, be away, sometimes. It really does. They end up being away, because they are committed to, serving the church and serving the people. And, but it's not like a bad situation. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And I witnessed my parents, trying to maintain, I'm going into clove now. But I witnessed my parents trying to juggle being parents to us, and in addition to maintaining the church, because then you have to make sure that it, grows, it's healthy, people are stepping in and volunteering, and that you're not doing everything. And so as a PK, you end up doing a lot too. And this is pretty. This is really pretty, y'all. I'm just liking this. But you end up, being involved too. So my sister and I, we danced at church. We sung at church. We read scripture. Eventually, we ended up preaching as well. Yes, we had a lot of hats. We did administrative work, keeping track of people's birthdays and stuff, and making sure it was recognized, and just a lot of different things. We got involved in a lot. And like I said, it's like a whole different lifestyle. It's not just like you're going to school, you're just concerned about your family or whatever. The concerns of the people at the church end up being your concerns, and making sure they're okay too. So when big life situations happen, the pastor has to be involved. He ends up being heavily involved, into it. So it's a lot. And I don't regret being a PK, because in addition to that, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about God. You learn a lot about yourself. You end up being strong. I feel I've been strong. I know for a lot of PKs, they end up being like really wild. And that could have been me if I would have let that happen. But they end up being wild because, a lot of your life is focused on other people, or it's really heavily involved in church, going to church a lot. We went to church a lot because in addition to having our own church services, there were times where my dad was asked to minister at other churches. So we would go to our church services and then the other church services. And it was a lot. And then this is a story for another day. I was homeschooled, so that's fun. But, so, a lot of your life ends up being focused on the ministry, you know what I mean? And being involved in that. It was fun though. Because, there are like stories for days of, things that have gone on, in church, where, the presence of God really moved and people were touched. They might've came in and been, on the verge of not wanting to be here anymore, and they hear a word and it blesses them, and, they get to be freed. Or, people coming in off the street, people, just from different walks of life. You meet people from different walks of life, you know what I mean? So it's a great work. and it helps people. So that's a blessing. And that's one of the things that I've always loved, is to help people and to be a blessing to people. So that's what I saw. Believe, and it's really strange too. You also end up coming across people that, I think in every area of life, whether it be work, education, you know, whatever. I'm gonna go into allspice now just to deepen up my crease. But in all walks of life, you're gonna come across people that, you know, everybody is trying to climb a ladder, you know, and to be recognized. And no matter what you're doing in different circles, you know, there are people that want to, you know, climb the ladder of success, basically. And so we've, you know, had, me and my sister, I have a younger sister that's 2.5 years younger than me, but we've, you know, had moments where people tried to get close to us so that they can, you know, get out close to my dad or close to my mom, and just climb the ladder of being in leadership at the church and whatever. So, or they would try to get information from us, you know, as children. You know, you have that even in church, because everybody that's in church is not, you know, living the life, you know, that Christ would have them to live. So, you know, you have people that, you know, befriend you just for the sake of, yeah, becoming leaders or trying to become leaders or whatever. I don't know, man. You know, they just want to gain some type of attention. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, in every realm you're in life, be it, like I said, work, anything, you're going to come across people that want to just build their, you know, popularity or get attention, or attention seekers or whatever. And then I've met very amazing people, very selfless people in church as well, you know, who just want to give, just want to, you know, love on people, and they just want to, you know, see the best for, you know, everybody. And I think, going back into that nutmeg shade, that orange shade, but I think that's the biggest thing that I saw about my dad is and because my dad, he passed away back in 2015, but he was a very selfless man, you know, and he cared about people, and he wanted to see them do well. And he sacrificed a lot of time. He worked a full-time job, and he pastored the church. So he did a lot, okay, in the church. He preached. My schedule was like, let's see, his schedule and my schedule, mom, my sister, y'all. My dad worked a full-time job. We had church, Bible study, and then times where we preached during the week. We asked out to different services or whatever. We preached. We all ended up getting invited out to preach because we all ended up in ministry. And let me see, I'm about to go in. This is from Brazen Beauty. It's a eyeshadow, a liquid eyeshadow. It's called, the shade is Paradoxical. So I'm gonna go in my inner corner with that. But this blend though. And go over a little bit, blend this little corner a little bit. But yeah, so our schedules were crazy. We were running, we were busy, you know, a lot. You know, there are people who would call, you know, if they were having crises, they would call my dad. And, you know, he would be involved in that. So it was a lot. It was a lot for him, for my mom to manage, being parents to me and my sister, and in addition to being everything to everybody else. And it's crazy the attachment that comes, you know, the attachment that people have to you, where they really see you as like, you know, they see my parents as like their parents, and they were like grown people. These are older people we're talking about here. So it's a lot. It basically is is a lot, but it's rewarding, but it's a very committed lifestyle. And that's why, like, for some people, like, you have nuns who, you know, they're in this lifestyle for, you know, they're committed to it, and that's all they do, because it's a lot to manage a regular lifestyle and being in ministry. So I'm just gonna put this on the inner corner. Ooh, 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 look at this, this is pretty. Okay, all right, so what I wanna do is try to, like, oh my gosh, this is pretty. I'm gonna pat some of this in the inner corner. I'm just gonna take a flat brush. Like, this one doesn't have a name, it just is what it is. But I'm just gonna, wow. So anyways, yeah, our schedules were crazy, and yes, people would get close to you just like, you know, you were their family, you know. And it was beautiful, you know, that was beautiful. And the people in the church became like my family, like legit my family. It's like, you know, sometimes, oh, this is pretty, y'all. Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry. Believe it or not, sometimes people try to compete with you too in ministry. Like, you know, if people get a bigger response, you know, like you might get a bigger response, or, you know, they're looking for that type of response and they want that from the people. But like, it really just depends on, you know, what people need at that moment. If you're giving people what they need, you can't control that. But people get competitive in ministry and stuff. And just like with any other realm, like I said, in education, your job, anything you do, you know, you will have those type of situations. You'll come across those type of situations, and it's just wild. You know, I've come across it, you know, just seeing it, watching it. You know, people will see my dad, you know, move in ministry, and people be really wild by it, whereas maybe they don't get the same response, and it's not fun. But, you know, it is what it is. It's really all supposed to be for the glory of God and for people to be blessed and, you know, come to the knowledge of God. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna put my lashes on. We're gonna see if I do this in front of y'all. And I might have to be quiet, so I might like go fast. This is, I'm gonna use by BTaylor Beauty, the Adhesive Eyeliner Pen. So literally, this is a gel eyeliner pen for your eyes. So you can do that, do a wing. And then it's also a glue so that you can attach your lashes to it. So this is gonna be fun, I guess. I'm afraid. We're gonna see if this actually works, because if it fails, I'm gonna be upset, and I'm probably not even gonna wear lashes at all. So yeah, there it is. All right, I really wanna get this inner corner. I'm honestly afraid. So this is Brazen Beauty lashes in the style Sumptuous. Isn't that's gorgeous. Uh-oh. Y'all, I'm scared. Because y'all know I be double gluing mines down. I don't know if this supposed to dry down or what. All right. Uh-oh. Y'all. I should have put my mascara on first. But like, trying to push it. Yo. What? It's actually sticking. What? I'm like shocked right now. I'm in shock and awe. Ooh, yes. It actually stuck. I might have to get mascara to blend, but it actually stuck. All right. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna do my other lash off camera and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I did use eyeliner by Milani, a blue eyeliner, keep on Sapphire, because I just wanted to pop a color under my, in my, whatever, lash line. I don't know, child. Eyeliner, okay. So, all right, so far, so with this little adhesive pen, it's like scary how easy they go on. They go on really fast. It does look like it's loose in some areas, but it might be because I didn't attach it. But like, this is a tug test. It's on there, and it's on there good. So it might just be me, you know, needing to adjust it or whatever. But it's on there, like. Now, because I'm nervous, I wouldn't wear it when I am going to church and I cry. But I don't know, maybe I should test it out because it might work. It really might work. But like this is okay. Oh, exciting. I'm gonna use the Reboost foundation by Makeup Forever. Do I think it's too dark? Absolutely. Are we gonna make it work? Yes, we are. So I'm just using a sponge all over. And I have the shade Y528. I really think I needed Y505. But again, we're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna put it on the butt of my sponge. Oh, this is dark. Oh, this is dark. I'm putting 2 pumps on there, and I'm just gonna put this on. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so I can definitely finesse this. Yeah, I can finesse this. Okay. Okay, so back to my story times. What was I saying? Yeah, people being in church can be competitive, but it just depends on if you choose to be competitive or not. I don't. I choose to do what I feel the Lord wants me to do, and it is what it is. I don't compete with people. You only compete if you want to compete, but there's no competing if you're called to preach, if you're called to minister, if you're called to dance, if you're called to sing, if whatever you're called to do. And make sure I put this on my ear too, because we're deep in this thing. But no matter what you're called to do, if you're called to do it, nobody can do it like you. Your voice needs to be heard. Your voice, your song, your teaching, you know, whatever it is that, you know, you believe that God has called you to, it has to be done through you. And nobody can do it like you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own expression in the way in which, you know, the Lord uses them. And that's what people have to realize that choose to compete, you know, that choose to make it a race or make it something where they feel like they have to, you know, compete with people, basically. It's because they need to know, you know, they really need confidence. They need to work on themselves. Yeah. So, you know, don't compete. That's what I learned. There's nobody that can do what I do like me. Basically, I have to, you know, trust God to use me the way that He wants me to be used. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so this is it as far as coverage. I would say this is medium coverage. And I did quite a few squirts on my face, and it's pretty much medium because I still see some stuff coming through. I'm trying to decide, you know, I'm trying not to use like a whole bunch of foundation, but I want to give this a chance. So let's see. I'm just gonna do like a couple more pumps on the back of the sponge. I'm also using a sponge too instead of a brush, so that changes the it changes the game when it comes to coverage. A lot of times the sponge soaks it up, but I love this sponge. This is by A Dose of Color. This is a jumbo sponge. This is my first time using the jumbo one, but I had their other regular seamless sponge, and it's just really nice. I love their sponges. Yeah, it was able to build up just a little bit, but again, I'm using a sponge, so. But it builds up nicely if you want to build it up. This is definitely a little bit deeper, but it's not off. It's not crazy, in my opinion. Like, what do you think? But yeah, that's one of the biggest lessons I learned is that, and then also being in ministry, like you really have to, being a PK specifically, you end up being a little bit, if you're going to be wise about it, you have to be a bit sheltered and you have to guard yourself. So I found myself being isolated a little bit, because people, when you're younger, some people try to take advantage. Like I said, you know, they want to be leaders, you know, they want to be in charge. And then, like, instead of, I don't know what it is, like, instead of just being in charge of your own life, you want to be in charge of the church too, or whatever. So they'll try to use you for information, so you have to be careful. Like, it's so weird to say that, but, like, it's happened. You know, if we've had talks about, oh, we went to see this movie or whatever, you know, then they want to try to throw that back in the pastor's face, like, oh, y'all saw that? You know what I mean? Or y'all did that? Or it's kind of hard to have innocent conversations as a kid, you know, around people like that, because around people in general, you know. And I just feel like, I don't feel like that's something that's just church related. I feel like I'm using a McGrath Concealer in the shade M17. And I wanted to use M17 because it's a little bit more neutral. All right, sorry y'all, my camera cut off, but I'm back. I don't know if it came through, but I'm using Pat McGrath Concealer in the shade M17 because it's a little neutral and it'll help balance out the warmness of this foundation. So yeah, and then I'm gonna use my Fenty cream contour in the shade Chocolate. So yeah, you have to be protective of yourself in ministry, because people will try to use information to gain clout. Sad that you have to say that, but that's what I had to do, and it made me feel a little bit isolated. Yeah, it definitely made me feel isolated and guarded. I was definitely more guarded because of it, and I guess I still am to this day, but it's less out of a I don't know. It's not out of a fearful place. It's just, you know, I learned that you have to be guarded, you know, and that's not a horrible thing. You know, it just is what it is, honestly. All of us to a degree have to have boundaries. And that's what I learned early. I feel like I had to learn it earlier because of the nature of the lifestyle that I lived, you know, that I just had to be more protective of myself. And I think we all do. Let's see. It wasn't, I hope that you guys don't feel from what I'm saying that it was an all bad situation, because it wasn't. I appreciate so much how I grew up. I appreciate being a PK. I appreciate being in ministry because I learned responsibility. I learned a lot. I learned at a young age that if you drop the ball, if you just drop the responsibility, because a lot of times when you're doing things that's volunteer, with our church is volunteer, people would, my dad wasn't a paid staff member, some churches they have that, but we didn't have that. He would get blessed, with money from time to time, but he was not a salarized pastor. And so everything was volunteer. And he tried to show appreciation when people would do things for the ministry. And he would give personally out of his money. You know what I'm saying? So, but, and people would be a blessing to him, from time to time as well. But this was essentially almost like a job. You know what I'm saying? So it really was like a job, and he didn't get financially as much as he did. And that's just the facts. Because he was there for people all the time, going to the hospital, when they were in the hospital, being involved in counseling, for married couples and families. And yeah, when people passed away, he was there to help and, plan the funeral, to being the one that eulogized the situation, the burial, everything. He was there for all of it. And he wasn't always appreciated for that. But all of that taught me that, if you don't do it, the ball gets dropped, somebody else has to do it, and it's more on somebody else. It would have been a lot easier if, people who would just come to church, some people take for granted just walking in the doors, sitting down, hearing the ministry. We had for a while, my parents' name was on the lease at the building that we had. And if anything happened, it would be our house on the line. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. It was our house. And so sometimes people take for granted, being able to come in a building, the lights are on, the electricity is working, all of this stuff. I forget how full coverage Pat McGrath Concealer is. This is full. Okay, back to the story. But people can take for granted being able to just come in a building and everything be taken care of, And so you would hope that people that appreciate the ministry would want to, give in order to keep it going. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. And, my dad invested money, into it. He wasn't one of these pastors that just asked for money, all the time. Because you have those, And I've experienced that. They don't have jobs. They don't have money. They're not giving to their own church or whatever. And they're expecting everybody else in the church to give in order to make up the deficit. But my dad wasn't like that. He gave himself. He worked himself to make sure that, the church was able to continue and be open, every time that we were set to be open, So, but it taught me that, things are not going to function unless somebody is carrying it. Every time you drop a weight, or you drop a responsibility, somebody else has to carry more, and I saw him and my mom have to carry so much more, because people just drop, they didn't want to do it anymore. And I get it, you don't, sometimes it's not for you, it's not, but somebody got to do it, either that or things are not going to function the same way. Or they're not going to function the way maybe you want it. Like, we might not be able to do everything because there isn't the people there to do it. You know what I'm saying? We might not be able to do the same things that other churches do or bigger churches do because ain't nobody there. So it just, that's what it has to be. And, it's fine to me. It's fine to me because it is what it is, you know. You either stand in the gap, you know. You can't, we're only human, we can only do so much, even though the, you know, ministry calls us to be able to do certain things and gives us certain abilities. You know, we're also human, and life takes money, it takes energy, it takes time, and it can't, you know, eventually you crash. You know, you crash sometimes, you know, and I've seen my dad, just the weight of it all, it really took a toll on him, you know. I'm gonna go in with the Coco Naughty by Fenty Beauty and bronze. I need to set my under eye, but I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, but I saw it, you know, I really did. I saw it take a toll on him, and it was a lot, but he always handled it with grace, and, you know, he appreciated what God did for him, so he wanted to serve God, you know, with everything. And he served God with everything. And so did my mom. She served God with all that she had, because she, you know, believed in the ministry. She believed in God, and she believed in, you know, all that, you know, she felt God told her to do. And so she did it. And, you know, I appreciate that, because it just taught me also that, you know, even when things don't go the way you expect it to go, you know, you want things to be a certain way, and maybe it doesn't always turn out that way. Stay committed. Like, stay committed to, you know, unless, you know, it's time to move on. And I learned that lesson too. After a little while, it was time to move on, you know. But eventually we did end up closing the church. It was around the time my dad passed. I'm going in with the BTaylor Beauty Filter Effect Setting Powder. And this is it. I'm not going to use a lot. This actually looks like what I need to be using, because okay, filter effect. Again, my under eyes are dry, so I can't do too much. But yeah, just being committed. I've become it's kind of shaped my character in the sense that I'm a loyal person because of this, you know. That's just in my nature. That's in my heart, to be loyal. Let's see. And to be committed to what I put my mind to. I don't want to give up on things or people, you know, because it gets hard. But you also have to have a balance with that, of course. You have to have a balance and make sure that you're staying committed to that which you need to stay committed to. Sometimes you don't need to stay committed to some stuff. And that's what we learned in closing the church, you know. It was just time. It really sucked because my dad, you know, there's something he put his life into, so it kind of sucked to not be able to, you know, continue it on. But we also, you know, didn't have the help too, you know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. You know, a lot of people were going through, and a lot of people too were sad because of, you know, what they felt they lost when they, you know, my dad got sick. He had a brain tumor. So they, you know, felt that loss. That loss hit home for them too. So it was just hard. And, you know, we did a lot of praying, a lot of soul searching to see, you know, what we needed to do, because again, this was his baby almost, you know. This was his baby. And it was hard, man. A lot of times, too, people can look at having a church as their life, and they don't know how to have a life outside of it, you know? And that is what makes preachers' kids go buck wild. you know, seeing things behind the scenes, seeing people, you know, backstab, seeing people do all of that, and then also not having a life outside of church. That makes PKs go but wow, like but wow. I really like this setting powder. I didn't use that much, but it really does filter. I feel filtered. But yeah, it really can't make you go buck wild when that's all you do. And I've had those moments when, you know, that's all I did, you know. So I wanted freedom. I wanted, let me do my bottom lash line, y'all. I wanted freedom. I'm gonna go into allspice and nutmeg. Allspice, nutmeg. But yeah, like I said, a lot of PKs go off the hinges because they don't have a life. And you gotta make sure that you have that balance for yourself. And that you live and that you do what you need to do. You know, take a break. Don't feel like you could never take a break. Don't feel like you know, and that's just in life. Like, this is everybody. With work, if you have a job that, you know, makes you feel like you can't, you know, take a breather. This is not a good brush. You know, if you feel like you have a job that makes you feel like you can't take a breather, let me tell you something. With jobs, with anything, if you were to pass on, you get replaced. You know, you will get replaced. You know, and no problem. No problem. You'll be replaced, no problem. I'm telling you. And this is the nutmeg color, y'all. And that's what we experienced, because around, you know, my dad passing away, a lot of the people that we were connected to, you know, it ended up being a disconnect. You know, they moved on fairly quickly, you know, and didn't, you know, we didn't keep in touch or anything like that. And that was a hard disappointment to face, but it just showed me, like, have a life. You know what I'm saying? Have a life. Ministry can be daunting, you know, but just make sure that you have a life and that you have something outside of it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up being disappointed, you know. You'll end up being disappointed and you'll lose it. I'm going to go into nutmeg. That's going to be my blush. And yes, I'm using my bronzer brush. Ooh. That ended up being pretty. That really real cute. I like that. Ooh, yes. This is cute. I like it. Okay. I hope I didn't ramble. But, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna spray my face. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna spray my face before I do my lips. Wait. Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, wait, let me hold this cute. My face is looking good. Looks good, right? This is turning out nice. Okay, now I'm gonna do my lip. Y'all know I stay knocking something over. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't knocking something over. I'm going into the Glory Lip Liner. This is from Makeup Revolution and Tammy, her lip kit. Okay, now I'm gonna go What am I doing? To Moxie. This is by Brazen Beauty. I got a lot from Brazen Beauty, y'all. Feel like I see it coming off. Oh, when did it come off? When did this thing on? Okay. It's freaking me out. Okay. Oh, this is the gloss. Yeah. This is fine. Thick gloss. I also have a matte liquid lip by them in a similar color. Ooh, yes, that's pretty. All right, so I'm gonna use, what is this? Is this a powder? Okay, thank God, because I was scared. I'm gonna go into the Juvia's Place Heroin Glow 1. This is it for a highlight. Ooh, this about to be intense. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That is gorgeous. This is my first time using this one, I think. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is just giving that wet look. I shouldn't have put my lip on first though. So now I can't put it on my Cupid's bow. All right. Just gonna go in with my finger. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. All right. All right. I went ham, like crazy ham. Okay. Bring it back, Faith, bring it back. I really like this. Oh, it's just so pretty. All right. Just if you ever go overboard, use your brush that you set your face with and you're good. This is so cute. Y'all, this turned out cute. Okay. Okay. This is cute. Okay, I like it. Oh, I do want to put some of that highlighter in my brow bone. We add a little bit more. Whoop. 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 Ooh, yes. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. So to end, because I don't think I had a complete thought on everything I was talking about, but basically being a PK taught me balance in life. It taught me boundaries, and it taught me balance and boundaries and how to live my life, you know, in spite of disappointment, in spite of, you know, people. Like, live my life. You can't meet everybody's expectations, and you just got to keep moving on and doing what you do for the glory of God, no matter what people's opinions are, because they are many, and you hear them in the street, you hear rumors, you hear everything. And this is just life in general. People are people, whether they're in church or at work or out in the street or the grocery store, car dealership, getting gas, whatever. People are people, period. Yeah, anyways, so, but yeah, that's pretty much my thought about being a PK. I hope you enjoyed my story. I have more, you know, faith talks. We're gonna have fun topics. If there's a specific topic that you want me to talk about, make sure you leave it down in the comments so that I can do that the next time I do a faith talk. And yeah, let me know how you feel about the makeup, because I think it turned out really cute. I like the foundation. It's not a matte foundation. It's definitely hydrating and everything, but it looks pretty. We were able to finesse it because it was a little deep, but we were able to finesse it with that concealer. And the eyeshadows, I'm in love with Brazen Beauty right now. Brazen Beauty, BTaylor Beauty Company. This adhesive pen is just freaking me out. Yeah. I love everything. I feel like my lash is coming off though. So I don't know if the adhesive pen is for me, but I think the BTaylor Beauty Company, their powder is like legit, okay? The powder, it really is flawless. You know, the powder is flawless. It's gorgeous. And that was in the shade Latte, by the way. Yeah, in the shade Latte. So, I love it. The lips, beautiful. Brazen Beauty again came through. And the liquid eyeshadow is gorgeous. Like, it's so pretty. My lashes are failing me though. The actual lash itself is cute though, and that's from Brazen Beauty as well. But the adhesive pen, I don't know if I'm about that life. But anyway, let me know down in the comments if you like it. Please subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. P.S. This foundation is so freaking lightweight. I don't even feel it on. And it's really good with transferring. Like, it's not even transferring that bad. It's really good. P.S. Love the eyeshadow. It's bomb. Still hanging in there, going strong, looking cute. Love it. P.S. The adhesive, it's not for all day wear. It's nice for videos, but not for all day for me. What else? Yeah, I really like this foundation. This is nice. It don't even look too bad. And I had it on for more than 5 hours. Probably about 6 hours. Yeah. So that's my PS. What else? I'm looking at myself too. I gotta stop. Okay. Yeah, the lip is gone because I ate. But yeah. Other than that, that's my little few updates about the new products I used. Yeah. I'm very, 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 very pleased. And my under eye still looking nice. That powder was nice. That powder was real nice. Brazen Beauty, you did it. Did it with the eyeshadows. BTaylor Beauty Company, y'all did it. Did it with that powder. It's cute. And Makeup Forever, y'all did it with that foundation. That's real cute. I like it. I like it a lot. Love y'all. Bye.